It's going to take a second. Again,
Awesome.
Louis, thank you so much for doing this. This is kind of cool.
Of course. Yeah, we're super excited. I think you froze again. Can't see you. Can you see me?
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, there you go. Now I see you.
We are now streaming live, and there it is. That was
very
cool.
cool.
I love it. I love it. So this is Louis Hatkoff. Did I say that name right?
Yes,
okay.
You did.
I love it. And this is a special interview for me because I've been part of the competition circuit for many years. I've seen the wonderful benefits and the energy that goes around it. And so, Louis, what inspired you to start Fly Dance?
So I'm going to take it back a little bit. I started a video production company back in 2008 when I went to college. I went to Emerson College in Boston, and I had access to all of this equipment. So I started filming recitals and graduations. So I had been filming all these different live events, and then I moved back to LA where I'm from. And after 3 or 4 years, I was thinking, what else can I do? How can we expand this? So then I started filming dance competitions. So we started filming dance competitions about 8 years ago. And there's always a thought in the back of my mind that, this is something that's really intriguing. I love challenging myself. And I think that I can take aspects of what I've heard from dancers, what they like, what they don't like, and then put it, all together to form my own dance competition. So the first thing was coming up with a name. So I got married last October of 2018 to my beautiful wife, Virginia. And she actually, thank you so much. She's actually a flight attendant. So she was like, well, what about the name Fly? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's it. I love it. I was always looking for something that I could kind of theme something around. So I knew that because we came up with it in November, we couldn't just start launching it, 2 months later, because you need to build a following, you need to, get your name out there. So we decided to launch in 2020, and we spent all of 2019 kind of coming up with what students like, what the teachers like, what the studio owners like, what works, what doesn't work. We asked a lot of, question and answer type things on social media to see kind of what kind of competition people are looking for. There are a lot of competitions that have been out there for, 20, 30 years. And we wanted to come up with something fresh, something new. And we started, marketing all of 2019, and we planned for 7 events in 2020. So we did our first 4 events. We did Chicago, we did Minneapolis, we did Davenport, and we did Phoenix. And then this whole pandemic came, and we luckily had like a 2 or 3 week break before we were supposed to go finish the rest of our tour with Tampa, St. Louis, and Portland. So we kind of had 2 or 3 weeks to kind of figure out what was, going to happen. And we took that time to kind of shift our focus to do virtual competitions and conventions and live improv competitions to kind of keep the kids dancing and keep them engaged and excited, and just offer something new to them. And it's able to reach more people than we wouldn't have been able to reach just in the specific cities.
So if I were to go to yours, how would yours differentiate from another competition that maybe somebody else would like to give us? What is the special? What's
the special sauce?
Yes, but you don't have to give me the extra special sauce. But if I were to go to your convention, if I were to be a student and I went to yours, and then I went to another one, how would yours differentiate between the other competition circuits?
Sure. So we spend a lot of time just listening to what the studios want. So we try and run on-time events, professional events. We have a great time doing it. We really engage with the students. We structured our entire competition kind of around the Fly theme. So we have really cool levels. We have cool age divisions because a lot of students and studio owners express that there's these wide age ranges, so it's not really fair for the kids to be competing against kids that are like 4 or 5 years older than them. So we have like a mini division. We have a petite, we have a junior, and we have a teen and a senior and an adult, so that it's more fair, so that they're competing against people their own age. And then we also have 3 different divisions instead of just like beginner, intermediate, advanced. We have 3 different ones. So we have first time flyer, which are like beginners. We have intermediate, which is our business class division. And then we have first class. So it's like our more advanced. So it kind of brought everything kind of around that theme, and to make it really fun and exciting. And not only that, but we offer the studio owners meals. We have like a studio owners room that they can hang out in. And a lot of, studio owners just need like a little bit of a break because they're running around. They don't have time to go and get food themselves. So we really, thank the studio owners. So we try and give back to them that way. We also have an improv competition, so the dancers can sign up the day of, and then they dance in groups of 5 to 10, depending on how many sign up, to songs that they've never heard before or they haven't rehearsed to. So that's a really fun aspect to it. We make sure that our awards are straight to the point, but the kids are still having fun. So we typically start our awards about 5 minutes after the last routine, which is unheard of for a lot of other competitions. And we have a lot of fun activities that are planned for them. And we just try and keep the kids engaged. That's really important to us, that the kids have fun and that the studio owners have a good time. And we also strive to have great customer service. So unlike other competitions that may take a week or 2 to get back to them, I'm always on my phone, always responding. Our team is great. So if the studio owner has a question, they message us on Facebook or they text me. I'm really good about getting back to them to answer their questions, because the customer service aspect is also huge to us.
Lewis, this whole thing happened. This COVID-19 thing happened. You have all these. I mean, I know the work that goes into planning these conventions, these studio owners that go to, and then bam, it ends.
Right.
When you look at some of the work that you've done, if you go on your Facebook page, it's very thorough. I mean, I like it a lot. Everybody's got to check it out.
Thank you so much.
You had this virtual competition, April 19th, this past weekend. Okay, so
yeah, it's a virtual improv competition. Yeah,
very interesting. So that to me it's enticing, and as a child, you kind of need to be a part of it. Does that mean anybody in the world could have come in and be a part of this just because they wanted to? I mean, is that could almost change the whole dynamic of your this plan? Is that true or?
Yeah, no, it was great for our virtual improv competition. We had kids from all over the country. We had California, we had people from the East Coast, the middle of the country, and it was fantastic just being able to see the dancers just, do what they love. And they were able to dance to a song. And then we had our 2 judges, and they gave out special awards, and that's actually streaming tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's really fun just coming up with,
Yeah, maybe send me the link, and I want to share that with everybody, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in our last virtual competition, we had about 430 acts. We had students that were represented in about 25 different states. And we also had people from Canada, we had people from Mexico, we had people from Australia. So it's a fantastic way to kind of connect all of our dancers to this one, centralized hub that they can, express themselves. And it's fantastic to see.
So moving forward, you created this virtual competition. I know some of your background is in videography and filming and that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
You have that edge, to kind of know how to do that. Do you think that this will, your reach is unlimited now.
Right.
So when you start to do these cities, which there's an appeal to that too, to go to a city and to be part of this bigger group.
Right.
Well, this other thing that you're working on now, will that be part of your plan?
I think it's really interesting. And I always have the, belief that everything happens for a reason. So I think that had this been next year, it would have been a totally different, challenge. But because it happened this year, because we had this like 3-week break, I think it really allowed us to pivot. And I think that having this opportunity for these dancers can never hurt. So I think that definitely going forward, we're probably going to include more virtual in our tour, which we may not have ever thought of before. And I think a lot of the other competitions are doing that as well. And not only is it a great aspect or a great avenue for the dancers to do, but there are also all of these other benefits, like if they weren't able to compete with us originally, or if they have, you know, a routine that they got feedback from, but they want more feedback, you know, they can enter our virtual competition throughout the season and then get even more feedback to improve them as a dancer. So I think it won't replace, but I think that it will definitely be something that you can add to it. And I think a lot of competitions are going to be running both simultaneously. But I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
It's kind of interesting how everybody's kind of forced to think creatively, and there's so many positives that can come out of this. And
Right.
up to this point, it seems like you really kind of just grasped the thought and just went with it. And here you have this thing that just happened this past weekend. So, you know, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the dynamics of what's like to be in a competition. You know, I think what I feel is for kids, there's a lot of teamwork that is involved. There's a lot of work for these kids, you know, and there's great value to that, you know,
Right.
and as a ballet dancer into the circuit, you know, there's dynamics between the competition circuit and ballet dancers. There's always been sort of this, but there's a lot of similarities. Yes.
Right.
You know, these kids work really hard, and maybe talk about more about what are the benefits of doing the competition, and, you know, the benefits of doing competition and also learning another trade of dance. It feels like it can all be melded together.
Yeah, so I think this is something that a lot of the dance studio owners and teachers, you know, express a lot about. The dance is not just about winning a trophy or winning an award. It's about the experience. It's about becoming a good human. It teaches them discipline. It teaches them, you know, compassion and teamwork. And the time and energy and effort not only, you know, creates lifelong friendships, but it also creates all of these other, you know, pieces of their lives that they can include when they are, you know, going off into their life. When they're growing older, it's a great avenue to keep them active, to keep them out of trouble, and to keep them dancing. So I think not only is it good to have the dancers at a studio, you know, in that environment, but also it gives them something to look forward to compete with, and gives them, you know, different types of, you know, activities to do, and you know, bond friendships, and, you know, come out on the other end a lot brighter and a lot happier and better people.
I love that. You know, Lewis, this was an important conversation. I think that the competition circuit's important. These kids are embracing it. You really stepped forward and you've created an environment where kids can be part of something bigger. That's so
Yeah,
important.
I mean, yeah, we're just doing what we can to keep the
Love
kids dancing. And, you know, it's good for us too, because I don't just want to sit here on my couch and, you know, be watching hours and hours of TV. Like, I can't function that way. Like, I'm go, 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 go. I have, you know, for my video company and with this dance competition, we had like, you know, 8 to 10 events a weekend. We have a crew of like 50 people, and it's like your mind is always going. And then when you're just told, you know, everything's shut down, like, you kind of have to say, all right, well, what can we do now? Like, you want to come up with ways to fix it, but there aren't always ways to fix it. So you pivot and, you know, just do what you can to, you know, to keep it going.
Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. Dude, can we keep in touch? Let's get in
Yeah,
touch.
no, for sure.
Let's keep in touch. Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody, for
always
being
happy
part
to.
of this. I appreciate this. Please send me the information for the stuff tomorrow night, too, or whatever that comes out, okay? Please.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks so
Bye.
much.